This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Let's mention a pay-per-view match here that didn't exactly set the woods on fire. The Samoan SWAT team pick up a win over Captain Mike Rotundo and Tommy Rich. So he's just thrown together here with Tommy Rich. They're not normally tag team partners. The next one is Mike Rotundo working with the Iron Sheik, and Meltzer at least has fun with the description. He says originally Mike was going to wrestle Harley Race and Sheik work with Tommy Rich, but the pairings were switched because Rotundo didn't want to work with anyone who doesn't practice boating safety. Kind of fun if you know the backstory of Harley Race having a bit of a boating accident.
Oh, correct.
And then the next pay-per-view, well, hey, what are they doing with him next? He's second on the card, but he gets a win over Buddy Landell. Meltzer would describe it as no heat, nobody cared. Fans were walking around even in the first few rows paying no attention to the match. While some of these matches on this card had an excuse for being bad and that the guys were green or weren't great workers, there's no excuse here. There's a reason. Right now, the promotion basically just wants preliminary matches to do their time and not do anything fancy and just do their finish. It sounds more like the WWF all the time. Was there a paradigm shift in 1990 under the Herd era, do you think? We just talked about how 88 sucked. Herd takes over in 89, not giving him any credit for it, just saying we had a tremendous year of in-ring action. And then 90, man, it just feels like it starts to go off the rails a little bit by comparison.
I know it's a broken record, buddy. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Yeah. Leadership.
Yeah.
You know, I after watching your interview with Mr. Herd, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
Thank you.
Oh, it was great. You did a great job. And Mr. Jimmy Crockett too. God, I thought a lot about Jimmy after I watched that two-parter you did. Good memories. He's the guy that introduced me to Crown Royal.
Really?
Yeah. He and I were sitting at a bar one night after a show. I think it was after a show, or maybe the night before a show, at the hotel, and having a cocktail. And I think I was drinking maybe I was drinking well whiskey. You know, just give me a bourbon and Coke type deal. Oh, he said, you got to stop that. Something it's along the lines tongue in cheekish, but if you're going to travel with me, you got to drink Crown Royal.
Right.
So I didn't know. Okay. So he bought me a Crown Royal, and it's like taking that first hit of crack. I couldn't get away from it. I remember I told my grandpa one time, my grandpa Ross would drink. He drank until he was 90. And he drank. I'll go back to Oklahoma to visit. I get granddad and I get a rental car. And my granddad was a big time carpenter. And around the area where I grew up, he built a lot of houses, a lot of barns. So one of our little things that he and I would do would take rides out in the country. And I'd always stop at the liquor store because I knew he'd like to have a little taste, and I'd hang with him best I could. So he would want, well, you know, I only drink a certain kind of bourbon. Really? What do you drink, Grandpa? Granddad? Oh, it's a little expensive. It's called Bourbon Deluxe. Bourbon Deluxe. And on the bottom of the label, it has a little picture that would signify rot gut. If it had a picture, it would say rot gut.
Let my family save your family some cash. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket, but we will save you money. It's not a matter if, it's a matter of how much. SaveWithConrad.com.
So anyway, I introduced my grandpa to Crown Royal. He couldn't afford Crown Royal, man. No way in hell. So he had his first foray of, we're just drinking out of the bottle. We're not going by the Dairy Queen to get a cup of ice or a Coke or whatever. You're just drinking whiskey. And man, I thought my grandpa had seen the second coming. So this is what it's like. Heaven. This is whiskey heaven. And so so I gave the guy at the liquor store $100 bill. And I said, look, when he comes in to buy his little bourbon. Tell him I've already taken care of it, and give him a half pint of Crown Royal. And when the money runs out, here's my number. Call me, and I'll get you some more money, and we'll just take care of Granddad. He'll always remember. You know, he's got a spot here. I said, you're going to see him a lot. He's going to be in here a lot, but make him happy. And so until his last breath, Granddad was drinking a little Crown Royal. So, and this very day, I talked about this on one of our last shows. You know, when you bribe me with that goddamn drive to the Amazon to do arguably the greatest piece of ad-free network content ever, you gave me a bottle of Crown Royal, that high dollar shit. And then guess what? I got hooked again.
Yep.
I got rehooked, Conrad, you bastard. And so, God damn it. So nonetheless, that's a Crown Royal story in the middle of this craziness, but it just I felt like telling it. Sorry.
No, I'm glad you did.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.